Hello, my name is Mark McClellan, and I'm one of the presidents of Macro Wealth Management. On behalf of my partner, Tim Stride, and the Macro Wealth team, welcome to Macro Wealth Live. We're very excited to share an amazing topic that's top of mind for many of you. I've been involved with it for many years, and it's about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. And as many of you know, it's been kind of a rough time recently, and there's a lot of events that are coming down the pike that we believe will greatly influence the movement of cryptocurrency. And I can't think of a better person to share this message with than Mr. John Sarson, CEO of Sarson Funds. He and I have been friends for a number of years. We've traveled to Egypt together, talked a lot about crypto as well as the pyramids and a lot of other stuff. And he is certainly an expert on many, many different pieces of the puzzle when it comes to cryptocurrency. But before I get to that point, just sort of share a little experience I had with John, plus other experiences in Europe. I've had the opportunity to speak all over the planet. I went back to Egypt to speak there. I've spoken at the World Economic Forum in Davos, spoken in Romania, Cyprus, many, many places here in the United States. Tim and I have written a number of books, written a number of articles, and some of those collaborations and some of those relationships that were created. I was recently invited to become a Knight of the Order of St. James in Holland just recently. And it was a true honor to be part of that group. And really the purpose of Knights in this day and age, maybe a little different than it was back in 1290 when this order was created. It's apparently the oldest order in the world, is of service. So being a doctor, I love being of service to my patients. Tim and I love being service to our clients, as well as people around the world. I've done mission projects in other countries as well, and being of service to the people of the world. So becoming a knight was kind of a cool opportunity that found it a privilege to be part of. But John and I have, as I said, we've been friends for a long time, and we've talked in these forums before personally, as well as in this particular webinar format. John's also a big supporter of our company. He's a sponsor of our annual event. He's been a year-by-year speaker to our annual event here in Chicago, which I'll speak about here in just a bit. He even drives up his Bitcoin bus when it's available, which is a ton of fun. And but when he spoke a couple years ago, Elon Musk and Dogecoin and Doge in general was kind of a hot topic that has gone somewhat by the wayside in today's world. But now we're in a new world with Elon Musk, and many of you are very familiar that in the coming days, one of the largest, if not the largest, IPO is going to be occurring, SpaceX. This particular webinar is not about SpaceX, but it is certainly about technology. Our very own self-fueling spoke last month, I'm sorry, on the supersonic tsunami on this topic. It was a great webinar. If you'd like to listen to that, just go to YouTube and you can just pull it off YouTube and go through it. But needless to say, Elon is very engaged with crypto. He's very engaged with everything cutting edge when it comes to technology. Before we get into the weeds here, of course, there's always a disclaimer, especially with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. This information is for informational purposes only. Please consult your own advisor or doing your own research. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. So do your due diligence and you'll see the value of what we'll be talking about this evening. The agenda will be, some of the questions you may be having is, what's going wrong with crypto this time? That's kind of a funny comment because those who've been in it a long time recognize the patterns, and you always like to sort of solve the patterns, and John will get into that in just a moment. And then we'll sort of get into some of the things that have been top of mind over the last year or so in a regulatory landscape, whether it's the Genius Act or the Clarity Act, which is, we can talk about whether or not it's going to pass here in the near future or beyond, but that will be a great, great discussion. Certainly AI in addition to crypto, they go hand in hand. It's very hard to segment those away from each other. So that will be fun. And then fun topics of the future, predicting what's going to go on in the years to come. Then we'll finish up with John, a little insight into his company. So with that being said, John, as I said before, it's a true pleasure having you back. You've been just a wonderful resource for our firm when it comes to cryptocurrency. Um, we were one of the first firms in the country to offer crypto to our clients, and that was even before the ETFs. So that you guys made it a very, very turnkey opportunity for those folks who wanted to get involved with crypto, but didn't want to do all the nuanced things that those of us who live in the crypto space know that are other ways of doing it. But sometimes people don't want to go down that path. So I thank you again for coming on board here. And then, we'll start off. I'll ask you the question. What's wrong with crypto this time?
Mark, well, thank you for the introduction and congratulations on your knighthood. I think that you exemplify what I would imagine a modern day knight should act like and be like. So, well deserved and congratulations.
Thank you.
Um, Thank you for having me. So, what's going wrong in crypto is we came here to make money, not lose money. And people are losing money faster in crypto than most other major asset classes, uh, perhaps all other major asset classes, which is kind of a head scratcher because the adoption worldwide is actually growing fairly robust at fairly robust rates. So, like, what's going on? Why the disconnect? A couple of data points to kind of anchor our conversation around on the screen. Bitcoin's down 44% in the trailing 1 year. Ethereum is down 38%. Top 10 index, which is similar to our top 10 fund, is down 38%. And then the small cap crypto index. And at Sarson Funds, we are well known for our small cap crypto management. There's not a lot of managers that really practice in that space. Down 71% in 1 year. And mind you, we weren't at an all-time high 1 year ago either. So this has been a lot of bloodletting. And
Yeah.
this bloodletting has created exceptional opportunities, but it's also left most investors in crypto with very little dry powder to take advantage of those opportunities. So if you've been watching crypto from the sideline, well played. So what caused, and I won't skip over our performance. Over this same 1 year, our large cap fund is down 35%. Our AI fund, decentralized AI fund, we'll talk about that later, is down 3%. You know, flat is the new up, I guess, in crypto. And our small cap fund is down 33%, which shows very favorably when compared to down 71% for its index. But still, losses nevertheless that we um, look forward to the market becoming a little bit more rational as the good news that has been codified into law in the United States is uh, fully appreciated by investors. As investors get more of their investable capital in the right lane in order to be able to invest in crypto, and we'll talk about that as well. And then, as some of the fears I think that are keeping investors on the sidelines ultimately prove to be unbased. As those things happen over the course of the rest of this year, we think we're going to see a unshackling, if you will, of the crypto space. And the people that are going to make the most money during this unshackling are going to be people that are just a month or two ahead of everybody else. So that's the purpose of today's call. Try to get everybody a month or two ahead of everybody else. Crypto goes up and down quickly, and a month or two can mean 100% return if you're a month early. And Mark knows this. He's been in crypto for a long time. My firm, can I share a screen, Mark? Do you have to stop if I share? I think you might.
I can let you share here. Hold on.
Let's see if I share. Will it kick you off the share? It might.
I don't think so.
Um, Seth or Tim, can you see
I
my
just made
screen?
you host.
Okay. I'll go through this really quickly. Of course, this is available through Mart or on our website. But our mission here is to empower and inform people to make better decisions on all topics related to digital assets and cryptocurrencies. And the space is evolving quickly. It's really not a whole lot safer today than it was 5 years ago. It's still an area where you want to guide if you're going to be investing money that you don't want to lose because it's part of your financial plan. And Martin and Tim can help you understand what's an appropriate sized investment. We never want to lose any money, but if you're doing $500 on something you hear about, it's different than doing 50,000. And that's what we're here for. We build investment products. We offer advice to institutional investors, and we have a product lab where we build cool things because my team is a bunch of technology forward 20 and 30-year-olds, and they can't stop building cool things with all of the new AI tech that they're getting into. And we'll show you one of them later, which is going to be free for everyone to take and use. This is our team. These are some of our partners. So we've been in business for 9 years. We're located in the Midwest in Indianapolis. This performance we just covered, it's been abysmal. The market lost its liquidity through the tariffs, followed by the armed conflicts around the world, causing people to kind of pull back on risk. And crypto suffered greatly from that withdrawal of liquidity from the markets. The good side of that, if you want to think of it this way, is liquidity has returned every single time. Liquidity always does come back when the concerns go away. And we have a lot of wonderful things happening in the crypto space. I'll talk about 3 of them. The first is that we've already passed, and it's codified into law, the Genius Act. And the Genius Act is basically a piece of banking legislation that provides guidelines to banks on how they can take a digital deposit in fiat and turn it into a digital deposit on chain. Basically, how they can turn a number in their accounting system into a USDC token, because that's what customers want, so they can go do things on the web with that digital money. This is actually wonderfully positive news for the space. It's not great news for Bitcoin. You know, there's a lot of Bitcoin maxis, they're called, or Bitcoin maximalists, that thought, oh, Bitcoin will become the transactional currency of the future on the internet. Turns out the transactional currency of the future on the internet is digital dollars, stable coins, USDC, USDT. Actually much better for the industry because it doesn't require any retooling of the system, really, as far as changing the denominator in which everything in the world is priced in. So it allows for fast adoption. So it's actually great for the industry. It's great for banks. The bill was passed in such a way that banks have a ton of profit potential for adopting this new technology. Think of it akin to like when Fannie and Freddie started buying mortgages from local banks, how that was a windfall for the banks that figured it out. That same thing is happening now with stablecoins. So the smartest banks are figuring they can make deposits into digital stablecoins, and they don't have to pay interest on them anymore, and they still have the money. That was the big wet kiss that crypto gave to the banking industry in exchange for broad adoption, which we now have. Soon in the United States, you'll be able to click a button and turn your balance in your checking account into USDC to send it to wherever you want it to go. It's already the case in Europe that happens. But this brings money on chain, and money on chain is what people use to buy tokens. So it's really important that we bring money on chain. And this is one part of it. This is like M1 coming on chain. And we're going to talk about the Clarity Act next, and that's going to bring a whole nother batch of money on chain. But to stay in order with the slides, the second wonderful thing that crypto has going for it is that AI, which is obviously the hottest thing in the world, and we're going to talk about AI for a good portion of the second half of my comments. AI realizes that crypto solves a lot of problems for AI and AI companies. Three of the easy problems that it solves. One, it allows for online value transactions to happen in very small increments and very efficiently and fast. Uh, your AI agent can get your Amex and do a transaction, but what if that transaction's for 10 cents to another agent? Amex kind of breaks. In that scenario, stablecoins work wonderfully, crypto works wonderfully. So agent to agent commerce, AI needs crypto. Also, there's new legislation that says you have to be able to verify how your AI model was trained to make sure it wasn't trained on copyright material or hate speech or other woke ideologies. This is literally an executive order. And what you need in order to do that is a robust record keeping process. And we have seen crypto projects step into this need. Projects like Near and Zero G are specializing in using the blockchain, which is a giant record keeper, a giant ledger, to verify how AI is trained and how AI requests for inference are executed. A perfect use case for blockchain. And then a third reason why AI is coming onto blockchain, and this one resonates with me probably more than the average person, and I bet it will with Mart as well, is that AI agents are wonderful and they become more and more wonderful the more of your data you give to them. When you give them all of your data, they become very powerful tools. And I'll show you one that I'm using in a few minutes. But it becomes more and more unsettling to have anyone except for you having access to all of your banking information, all of your emails, all of your information about your best friends. Your AI agent will know more about you than your spouse. And I'm sure no one on this call likes the idea of Apple, Google, Microsoft, or Amazon being in charge of not losing that data, given the number of data breaches that have happened over the last 5 years. The alternative is it stays in your digital wallet, safely behind a seed phrase, and no one, not even the government, can get access to your NFT that lays on top of your AI model, keeping all of your data safe, but yet still giving you the functionality of a highly customized AI model. So that's the future. There's a lot of projects in our portfolio that are working towards exactly that. Okay, so AI is coming onto blockchain. And that's amazing because blockchain AI as an industry has a market cap of just $25 billion total. Every single blockchain combined, $25 billion. Meanwhile, in regular way AI land, even companies you've never heard of have 60 and $80 billion market caps, like Figure AI and Scale AI, and they're all priced at feels like about 10 times higher, maybe 20 times higher than a similar company in the blockchain space, which I think gives us a lot of reason to be excited for money coming on chain, allowing these companies to be evaluated by the same investors that are currently paying these very, very high prices for public and private AI companies. And the last piece of good news, I know it's a lot of good news. The last piece of good news is that the Clarity Act passed the House and it passed the Senate Banking or Finance Committee, which is the most important one. This is a piece of legislation that defines who regulates a securities token, who regulates a stablecoin token, who regulates a commodity token. It allows everything to be tokenized and monitored and rules enforced by existing regulatory bodies. And this was a big bill. It's already done most of its hard work, and it's going to likely pass this fall because Wall Street loves blockchain. Mart,
Yeah,
can I get a second on that?
it's huge. I mean, it's tremendous. And you and I had this conversation maybe a month or so ago and weren't sure about it coming through or not this year. Uh, I've heard things in potential late July, but I would agree with you. And I think in the end, it's probably because there's going to be a recess in the government. So it'll probably be sometime in the fall. And to push it through prior to the midterms, I think that would be a big deal. And it is a very bipartisan type of thing as well. So it, it's nice to see that there is some acceptance on both sides of the aisle to say that this is the future, and to not recognize that is a tremendous mistake, and we'll maybe get into that just in a bit.
Well, and so you mentioned the midterms, and that this is the big overhang that is stopping institutional investors or, baby boomers with lots of investable dollars really going in on crypto because it's such an easy story to believe. Oh, well, the Democrats are going to do well in the midterms, and the Democrats 2 years ago were anti-crypto, so now they're still anti-crypto. And Trump and his family have done things in crypto which are a little bit unsavory, and so they're going to make a big deal of that and really be anti-crypto even harder now. And I think that if we stop and think about that, it doesn't check out. And the reason it doesn't check out is because Wall Street. Wall Street wants crypto, and what Wall Street wants, Wall Street gets. Wall Street is the most powerful, influential lobbying force in this country. Big tech and big finance. They both want crypto. Wall Street gives money to both sides of the aisle. And at the end of the day, crypto is just a more efficient way for Wall Street to do business. And they've already gotten on the boat. The boat has pulled away from the shore. I want to show a few things.
Yeah, and they recognize that too. I mean, the Bitcoin ETF when it first came out, it was the fastest, biggest ETF in the history of the market. I mean, Wall Street gets it. They recognize what's coming down the pike, and if they can make some money off it, they're going to make a lot of money off it.
That's right. They sure are. And like those bonuses happen at the end of the year. So that means they're going to get busy on some of these products that they've built, I would suspect towards the tail end of this year. So I think what we'll see happen is because Wall Street is going to kibosh or stop anyone from running on the anti-crypto platform, it'll be, you can't alienate Wall Street as a politician. And just to prove that Wall Street really is into crypto, let's talk about the partnership with the US Treasury. Let's talk about Canton Network. Canton Network is the reason why Ethereum is having a bad year. Ethereum was hoping it was going to be Wall Street's financial architecture. Only problem with that is Wall Street banks didn't feel comfortable with someone being able to make a mistake and accidentally send $1 trillion instead of $1 billion. They needed a network that they could control among themselves. So here is Canton's network. At first, it seems like companies we don't really know, and then we start getting down a little bit, and we see Banco Santander, Bank of America, Bank of China, Binance, Bitgo, BlackRock, BNP Paribas, BNY, Broadridge. Broadridge is the back office for Morgan Stanley. Chainlink, a big blue chip name in crypto. So basically, all of the biggest blue chip financial institutions, including the ones that create products with CUSIPs like mutual funds and ETFs, they are DTCC. This is the largest transfer agent. Every single trade that Mart and Tim do uses DTCC, a Canton Network validator. Their plan is to put all 40 Act products, which are mutual funds and ETFs, on chain this summer.
Hmm.
NASDAQ is going to tokenize all of their S&P 500 stocks. So is the New York Stock Exchange. So is Coinbase. So is Kraken. To say that Wall Street is in would be an understatement. Wall Street's hook, line, and sinker. They are a 100%. We're only to the G's, guys. H. I mean, this Canton Network is taking over the world. Their token's only available on Kraken. They haven't even launched on Coinbase yet. We bought it. We bought it this week. It is a great project with all of the best Wall Street firms, and they're not going to use Ethereum. They're going to use the Canton Network. Now, everything's going to get tokenized, but what they're tokenizing first is intrabank deposits, and they've done $6 trillion worth of deposits already, or swaps with banks. I don't know where that number is, but somewhere in here I saw it. 6 trillion. So they're all the Bank of New York cash settlements. It's all happening on the Canton Network. That's the first step. But then there's other companies like Trusted Smart Chain that are tokenizing things that we might touch on a daily basis. They're tokenizing the commercial property, that like otherwise would have been just a regular way private placement, Reg D offering. They're tokenizing that, creating better liquidity, lower entry points, easier management, and better tradability. And there's a lot of companies like Trusted Smart Chain, and there'll be a lot of companies that divide up the tokenization of every single financial asset. All of them.
That's a big deal. I mean, that just that comment is cannot be discounted. I mean, the fact of the matter is that everything investable becomes tokenized. That gives the entire world the ability to be investors. So people in other countries they can be able to buy 10 cents worth of SpaceX or whatever it may be. I mean,
they already can. They're already buying. They're already trading tokenized versions of SpaceX stock. Around the world.
Yeah, I mean,
types of increments.
It opens up the opportunity for everybody to get involved in a capitalistic interaction, and so that's just
absolutely
tremendous.
Any asset that's owned by more than one person will be tokenized.
Yeah,
because it makes it much easier rather than keep the contract in your drawer. You'll just keep the token in your digital wallet on your browser. Mm-hmm. And then all of the transaction will be immutable and the ownership will not be questioned. It's not a good time to apply for a job in a title insurance company because title insurance, as we know it, is going to become finally obsolete. Mm-hmm. So we have that to look forward to. That's going to happen in the next couple of years. Every single financial asset will be tokenized, and all of them will be interoperable with the Canton Network as kind of like the mothership that all of the side chains interact with. Canton won the game. We're gonna own Canton for the rest of the time we're in business, I would suspect, unless something changes. We do change our mind when things change. I wanted to go back to the presentation. So when the market realizes that no one's campaigning on crypto, investors are gonna have to realize that there's all of these positive things going on for the blockchain industry, and they're going to start to experience that their capital is able to be translated on-chain into digital dollars to make investments for the first time. They can make deposits easily, but as assets are tokenized and you have a $2 million investment in a commercial property and your general partner sells it and they don't give you back $2 million, they give you back $2 million in USDC on chain. Now you're looking for your next investment. Like, oh, how about decentralized AI? Something like one of our favorite projects, which is a decentralized AI company called Venice that provides blockchain-based privacy and security and all the same features as Perplexity, basically. And Perplexity is worth 180 billion. Is that the number I heard? And this company is going for 725 million. So it's 250 times cheaper. So there's a lot of good value in the market, especially in the blockchain market. There's a lot of money coming into the market because of banks allowing you to easily turn money, put money on chain, and because of financial institutions opting for digital dollars and digital tokenization instead of the old-fashioned way of doing business because it's more efficient and because it creates better secondary market liquidity and lowers costs for them. Um, in the data server space, this is our new favorite project. This is a decentralized version of AWS. Agents can deploy a server paying in tokens on their own. This is a real thing. It's a decentralized full service or full stack compute solution. Definitely worth looking into. We built on top of that.
Which one is that, John? What's it called?
So it's called Manifest Network.
Manifest. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
And so when you're a decentralized computer network, that means that a bunch of people own computers, expensive computers, and they all put them into this network and allow people to use them. In exchange, they get paid in network tokens. The network tokens can in turn be used to pay for compute on the network. It's a very similar model to Helium. Um, it's a little too complicated to explain exactly how it's different, but it's a DPIN project, decentralized physical infrastructure. It's more secure than traditional cloud because you have a blockchain and a seed phrase connecting you directly to hardware, as opposed to a third party like an Amazon or a Microsoft. They can't see what you're doing. They can't snoop on your data. And it is not owned by one company, so it cannot be shut down very easily. There's 305 node operators, of which Sarson Funds is one. This company will launch their token when conditions improve, which will probably happen in the third or the fourth quarter. Its total value at launch is expected to be around a $500 million market cap. This same company in the regular data center space would be a $20 billion company. It's also a victim of the very, very, very low valuations. So we'll continue to watch this. We built on top of it this anonymous agent. If you're looking for private AI and you don't feel like paying anything, Manifest offers this for free as a proof of concept for how their decentralized servers can offer you anonymity and privacy. And then we use some open source models. And check this out, Agent One, we call it, on Manifest Network. So that's an AI agent that will do your bidding. You can ask it like, what is the difference between, what did I ask this yesterday? Body wash and shampoo. Turns out there's a big difference. Yeah, so AI is really adding a lot of value in our lives. Mart, I know you wanted to talk about some AI things, and I have one other exciting, cool AI project I wanted to share with the group, but
Okay.
I want to let you get your stuff in before I keep going.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of AI, I mean, the AI agents, there are going to be significantly more AI agents in the world than workers, humans working. It's not going to be remotely close, right? And so there'll be transactions between these agents, but they're all going to be microtransactions. They're not going to be a penny or a nickel or whatever. It's going to be microtransactions. So the only way to sort of manage those transactions is on the blockchain. And so that's the only outlet for this technology to sort of work together, right? And it's gonna blow up in a significant fashion. And the facts are, to your point too, is that what people don't recognize is although the crypto space is getting kind of crushed, the infrastructure is being built right now. Everything is just kind of being ready to rock and roll, and it's already kind of there, but it's only going to get better, right? So, but I do think truly believe that the interaction between the agents and the transactions on chain is going to be significant beyond our wildest dreams. And then you add in the tokenization piece in combination. Holy
It's
moly.
it's a perfect storm for agents to become exceptionally helpful. I'll share my screen again and show you preparing for this call. If you're not doing stuff on your computer every day because you're retired, you're maybe wondering like, what is the like, what are people talking about that agents are going to replace people's jobs? So let me show you this. So I needed to get the perform. Can you guys see my screen, Mark?
Um, it's coming. There it is.
So I logged into our administrator's website, and I wanted to have the performance of our funds over the same time period as the slide that was previously up. So I, rather than do anything, I just asked the my agent in my browser to figure it out for me. And I just tell me the gross performance for each of our funds over that period, please. And it did its thing and navigated the website. I used this with Starlink last night because I had to do a customer service complaint because I had been getting billed for service that I didn't turn on, but it was a really long wait, like 45 people in line. So I turned on my assistant in my browser. Watch, I'll do it right now. And I'll say, and I asked it to give me a refund. So I say, drive for me, if you can see my screen, and see if there is an update on my refund. Watch what happens. It says, can I control your computer? I click allow. Now it's moving the mouse. It's clicking on things. It's going to check to see if I got the refund or not for the conversation I had. This is Perplexity's browser called Comet. It is free. I would highly recommend downloading it. When you hear about all the data people are using and all of the compute demand, it's because my team will be running 10 tabs at once with 10 browsers doing 10 different projects that are just like research, discovery. This. I had it, I got my box from Target was damaged. I uploaded a picture. I'm like, show them this and see if I can get a credit. $40 in my Target account. I didn't even do anything. So this is what agents did. So like, look up, I got it. Nothing. I'm going to get it back to my credit card. It did all the work for me. I didn't have to learn how to navigate this website. This is called Comet Browser, and it's free
You
to
didn't have
download.
to make a phone call and wait and push two, then push three, then talk to.
No, as a matter of fact, I am building like something in the backyard, and sure, I took a picture, and then AI said like, "Oh, here's the lumber you're going to need for this little roof." And I said, "Well, put it all in my cart between Menards and Lowe's based on whatever is at the best price." And it's like, "Oh, nope." Loaded up my cart, two different orders, shopped through my local stores, and waited for me to hit the checkout button. It saved a lot of time. Really great. Well, thank you so much for your time. I can stick around for any questions. Um, I think the most exciting thing about the midterms being the big blocker is the midterms are only weeks from now. People are going to start campaigning. I think people will be campaigning after the 4th of July, and we're going to notice pretty quickly that crypto is not going to be a talking point. So everyone's big fear that actual passed legislation in the Genius Act gets undone. That's not happening, and their fear that the Clarity Act gets somehow ruined or not passed. That's also not happening. The Senate Banking Committee greenlit it. That's the most important one. The House already passed it. All these good things, all these efficiencies for our economy, all this interaction and collaboration or further like advancement with AI and blockchain, it's going to dawn on people at the same exact time where they're able to, for the first time, to bring big sums of money into the category it needs to be, which is the digital dollar category. So like it's going to be an awesome fourth quarter. The third quarter could be good too, but I'm, I'm way less certain about that. But the fourth quarter is going to be great. Use the summer to find some dry powder, harvest some gains, capture some losses. Make sure you have a full allocation to cryptocurrency by September. Talk to
No,
Mark.
no, yeah, no, I love that, and yeah, I think you would agree too. A lot of it's all about liquidity as well, and you've probably seen too. A lot of liquidity is kind of moving from crypto to AI for the time being, but it's having dry powder on the sidelines. I think is going to be significant because for those of us who've been around long enough, it does when it takes off, it really takes off. So
A lot of these names are, going to 10x. Uh,
mhm, yeah,
and it might take them a year and a half, but that's going to be really good performance. And if you get in only after they've already gone up like 5x, then like you only get a double.
yeah, right, exactly. Well, thank you so much, John. I really appreciate your insight. It's always fantastic. We'll get a little bit to our annual event here, but you'll be there as well. But for anybody listening who doesn't have a copy of Tim and my book, Your Retirement Smile, just reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to send you a copy of this book. We've also have some other books on generational wealth and some other topics on leadership. I wrote a book a couple of years ago on investing in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. If you'd like a copy of that, it was written in dental economics. Just let us know. I'll be more than happy to share that with you as well. Um, Here's the annual event. It will be on a date you can't forget. It is 9/11. And hopefully you can make it be here in Chicago at the world-renowned Gleacher Center. There's more Nobel Prize winning people of economics from that university and else in the world. And it's a really great venue for collaboration and learning. And if you'd like to attend, you can click on that QR code there. It is filling up. John is one of our sponsors. We've got a number of great speakers coming in on a multitude of different topics, from crypto to investing and alternatives to tax mitigation, to status of the economy, as well as other topics. So it's a great meeting. As I said, John has been a sponsor and a participant for many years now. So please make an effort to come, as well as on Fridays, the meeting. We also have a day in Wrigley Field where we rent out a rooftop and we have the opportunity to have fun on a social basis at the world's best baseball field. Um, if you need to contact our firm, these are our email addresses, mine, Tim's, Seth, Cindy's. If you'd like to have an appointment with us, this is our Calendly link for an appointment, for an introduction. If you want to learn more about this topic and/or wealth management and planning, we'd love the opportunity to speak with you. We will be having another MacWealth Live event in July, and the topic will be coming out here very soon. We're excited about that speaker as well. And with that being said, I will close it out here unless there's any questions in the chat. Let me just check that before there's John comment browser. Yeah, I think we had an issue with the link. I've been getting people texting me on the Zoom link. I think one of your colleagues, John, said that. So we will have to send them this video. So thanks again, John. Have a great rest of the
That's good.
day.
No hard questions if people can't tune in live. That's perfect. I appreciate that very
Yeah,
much.
yeah, you get to escape out the side door now.
That's right. Uh, Mart, thank you so much for including me. For your clients that are in crypto, we are paying close attention. Wall Street has got our back, and we're going to be just fine. Crypto
Yeah,
looks better now than it's ever looked.
yeah, I agree. I agree. To have the Genius Act in play already and Clarity Act around the corner, big deal. That is a big deal.
Yep.
'Cause
Those
it
people that
get,
are buying Bitcoin and Ethereum, calling that their full blockchain portfolio, they're having some second thoughts.
yeah,
But there's a lot of very, very exciting things going on that are very much the future. And that's what we do at Sarson Funds. And we love working with macro wealth. So thank
all
you.
right. Very good. Take it easy.